All right, good morning, everyone. We are looking forward to this weekend here at Watkins Glen. We're going to begin our NASCAR Cup Series press conferences in advance of tomorrow's GoBowling at the Glen race. We are joined by members of Trackhouse Racing's PROJECT91 team. We have driver Kimi Raikkonen and team owner Justin Marks. We will go straight to questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. Start up here with Zach.
Zach Sterniolo with NASCAR.com. Kimi, just coming back to NASCAR after an 11-year hiatus, what was the biggest factor that brought you to this opportunity to make a Cup Series start?
I think Justin, obviously they contacted, I think it was last year at some point, and then he kind of left it alone for a while, and then we had a little discussion, and then obviously he visited us in Switzerland, and I think everything kind of worked out well. It made sense. I wanted to do a little bit of racing. I think how the timing was right. The kids had a holiday still from the school, so we could come as a family for the trip and have a little holiday on the way. So I think all those small things here and there, and obviously seeing that they've been good this year, winning races. So at least we should have some kind of chance to do okay. If we do or not, I don't know, but at least we try and we give our best.
What were your takeaways from getting to do that driver orientation test last week as well?
I've been at the track once when I was here last time, so the cup car test, unfortunately it rained, and I think it was good, to get some laps, to have some idea how the cars are, and obviously it's quite a bit different the car than it used to be on that time, but yeah, I think it's obviously it's not the same car I'm gonna race here, but it's for sure it's helpful and get some kind of idea how things work. So,
thank you.
We're actually going to go right here to Bob in the front.
Bob Hawkers, Fox Sports. Kimi, what do you hope? Why do this? Is it just to say you've raced a Cup car? Is it just pure fun? Are you looking to do more after this?
There's absolutely no plans on anything after this, and obviously I want to have fun, but also we try to do as well as we can. And as I said, at least I think we prepared as well as we could. Very limited amount of anything, obviously, with how the rules are in most of not just here in the NASCAR, but also, where I come from, the testing is always the tricky part, and if you haven't done it, you don't get many laps, but at least we did some, and then NASCAR gave us a little chance to try the car, so we'll see what comes out of it, but there's no plan for the future, so I want to have fun, but do as well as we can also.
And the restarts in NASCAR tend to have a lot of contact. I'm sure they've told you there will be a lot of contact. Are you looking forward to that, or are you apprehensive on just how much contact you should have and how much contact you should accept?
I think any sport, any motorsport has contact. Obviously when you have single-seater cars, you try to avoid more, because obviously you damage the wing, and it's your race is compromised on that. I think any stock car racing is a bit more forgiving, because obviously it doesn't affect that much. But yeah, obviously we try to stay out of any issues. That's the big key on any racing, I think. In the end there might be some or not, but it's a part of racing. So
We'll go to Dustin and then Jeff.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports, right here in front. What are you most intrigued about with this weekend?
It's a new experience, obviously, and I don't know how it's going to go, but I think it's just a nice challenge, and obviously we are, like we said, already limited running on a car, and obviously it will be very short practice here. That will be tricky. and then it's qualifying. So it's quite a challenge, but it's also exciting, and we'll see where we stack up. I'm sure that they are very fast guys here. They do it as a professional for years, so it will be very hard, but we'll see what we get.
And secondly, at the end of the day, why does a world champion do something like this, where even with the testing, you've had limited time in the car, you'll have limited time on the track, so it does not give you as good of an opportunity to do as well or to showcase maybe everything that you can do? Why take that risk of, in one sense, failure?
Well, I don't see any risk. Why not? What do I have to lose? That I done bad in NASCAR race or bad in any race? I don't care. I do it for myself, and good or bad the end result, it could happen. Even if I did 20 races, they all could be bad, and for many different reasons. But I don't see any negative. I think it's great what Justin and the team is doing for giving a chance, and obviously from Europe is quite. It's not as known. Obviously, over the years, it's more known NASCAR there, but I'm sure there's a lot of drivers and who would like to have a chance and try it, but it's not very easy. So maybe it opens some doors that in the future there's more some kind of chance or to try to get more Europeans also in.
Thank you.
We're going to go to Jeff, and then we'll go to Chris in the middle.
Hi, Jeff Gluck from The Athletic. It looks like you're staying in the motorhome lot with your family. What do you like about the NASCAR culture and the vibe in that sense compared to F1?
It's a lot different. Obviously, when I was here last time, I like it. It's very relaxed. It's completely different. I think the schedule is slightly different than it was that time. What happened to many sports after COVID, we figure out that maybe we don't need to spend as many days over the weekend. Obviously, in hindsight, it would work better for me if we had more testing or practice. But that's how it is, and I really like, it's very relaxed, nice family atmosphere. That's a lot more, let's say, family atmosphere here than in F1, so I like it, and but so far it's been great.
And you brought your family for a whole trip. Is this your kids' first time touring the States, or coming over here?
We've been with our son when he was very small here in US, and for our daughter, yes, first time. So, but they enjoy traveling, so they're used to it across Europe and all of the countries that we've been. But it's been great here.
I'm going to bring the mic in the middle to Chris, and then we'll go to Deb. Right here in the middle. Chris, raise your hand, please. Thank you.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Justin, can you talk about the overall path and future of Project 91 and what we could see with the program moving forward? Is there any plans for the rest of this year or next year?
Yeah, this is the only event for Project 91 this year, and this is really kind of our opportunity to sort of build this program, see what it's how it impacts the operations of the company, to field a part-time third car. I mean, I've been telling people we haven't hired one person for this project. We've just been a lot of people in the Trackhouse have been doing kind of time and a half to get this to go. So this is really just about what what it looks like to field a part-time third car as far as on the operations of the company. I think moving forward, so this will be the only event this year. I think moving forward, Project 91, the road courses really are kind of the ideal places to bring guys like Kimi in, just because of the experience on the road courses. I think it's a quicker learning curve, and they can get up to speed a lot more quickly than to go to ovals. So that being said, I mean, I think ultimately Project 91 is a program that operates at all of the road courses during the season, and then potentially some of the other sort of tentpole events like the Daytona 500 or Cocoa 600, something like that. I mean, I think at some point you get so many races that you have to look at actually just fielding a third full-time car. But I think for Project 91, it's a 6 to 8 race program potentially next year and beyond. and and it's a brand extension of Trackhouse. I think we can get really unique on the content side, on the merch side, and just create great stories. That's sort of where I'd like to see it go.
We'll go to Deb and then Nathan.
Deb Williams, RacingToday.com. I have one for Kimi and one for Justin. This Watkins Glen was the site of the U.S. Grand Prix Formula One race from 1961 to 1980. And if you go down to Seneca Lodge, you can still see the victory wreaths and all from that F1 era. So, to Kimi, since you have your family with you, have you looked at any of that history that existed here with Formula One? And Justin, because of that history here, did that enter into your decision of having Kimi here make his Cup debut with Project 91?
We came yesterday, so obviously I know a little bit of history of F1 being here, seen some old videos from it, but apart from that, I haven't really seen much yet. So the kids, they're interested in doing other things, so they're a bit too young for that yet. So, but yeah, I certainly know the history, and it's a great place. I think it's a nice area, kind of feels like middle of nowhere, but I enjoy that, and it's good to be here.
Yeah, I think as far as Watkins Glen, I mean, there's a couple of factors that went into this one. I mean, we needed time to be able to get this team ready, and it needed to match up with Kimi's schedule, I think, more than anything, just so it was convenient for him and his family to be able to make this trip. And Watkins Glen fell in a good time for them. I didn't want to debut Project 91 in the playoffs. That was not interesting to me. And then as far as Watkins Glen, I mean, this is a track where obviously there's a lot of history. The fan base is huge. I mean, it's a great event for the sport. So there's already typically a spotlight on it just because of the history, because the quality of the races. And it's a track where I think if he starts to learn the race car and the race, and we have a good race going, that you can make passes and you can create a good event. And this race typically doesn't get kind of Mickey Mousey like Indy did, and some of these other events. So I think there's a lot of factors that went into it, and that just made this sort of the ideal place.
We have time for 2 more questions. We're going to go to Nathan, and then we'll wrap up with Dustin over on the left.
Nathan Stone with the podium finish, one for each of you. Kimi, obviously, when you tested last week at VIR, Daniel was there with you. What's it been like to have that support system between Daniel and Ross for you to kind of learn and adapt with the next-gen car?
Obviously, it's useful. It's any help is good with the very limited time in car, and obviously they have much more experience. When we were in simulator, both of the guys were there, so just to see what they do and how it goes. So yeah, it's been nice. He spent his free time to be helping. So yeah, I really appreciate, and I'm happy that they're very open to tell if I have questions and try to help.
And Justin, what are your reasonable expectations for this race? And do you think that Project 91 would have ever been possible with the old car versus now doing it with the first year of the next-gen car?
Well, I mean, I definitely think it was possible, but I think what this car represents is a lower barrier of entry for drivers from other disciplines, because this car is much more consistent with other racing cars, road race cars globally. So the transition to learn the car for someone like Kimi is just a lot more simple. And then expectations, I mean, the speed's going to be there, the preparation's going to be there, the fitness is going to be there, all that. I think where the heavy lift is just in understanding procedurally how the race goes, making sure that there's no drama in the pits and on the restarts and things like that. So I mean, I think if we do all that, I mean, I think anything is possible. I really do believe that anything is possible. We have to run a good strategy and get a little bit lucky. But I mean, what he has shown, what he showed at the test and what he showed in the sim and some of the other things that we've done, I don't have any I don't have any issues with the pace or preparation or anything like that. I think it's going to be right on par. So if we do a good job for him as a team, I think that we could have a very good day. Yep.
Going to wrap up with Dustin.
Dustin Albino, JSK.com right here, Kimi. A lot of the drivers recently have voiced their excitement of racing and meeting you. Is there any drivers in NASCAR that you feel the same about meeting or racing?
I think generally it's just nice to race whoever it's going to be, and it's always exciting when you race against people that you haven't raced against, and obviously they're very professional guys. The rules are slightly different here than, let's say, what I'm used to, but I'm happy to be here and meet the guys. And what I remember from the last time, very relaxed, open, easygoing. Easy to talk to other drivers. Is again maybe a bit different than we are used to in where I come from. But obviously they get a bit heated sometimes. I've seen on some videos after race, but it's nice to be.
Kimi and Justin, thanks for joining us. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.